so. That should be our side thing as well. That could be our main priority, but we also should have a side job. They should tell us that. That way we can focus more, help us, it will help us understand who we are as an individual. And parents should not let us stop from being creative, because we are creative. We're going to use our minds, we're going to speak. Girls have the right to speak. We have the freedom of speaking. Being a feminist is who we are. And not just girls, boys nowadays also need to speak up too. Boys also need to speak up. If you have a feminist inside of you, speak up. That's what we stand for. Whatever school may you go to, Sale, Johnson Heights, LA Matheson, whatever Sylvanian, whatever school may you go to, represent your school well. It's all about representing and knowing what you want to do. Being a youth, as an influencer, being a role model, I know what it's like. I see it on social media. When I write my columns, I try to make sure what I'm advocating, what I'm talking about is right. I don't just talk about, oh, somebody did this to me, how can I do this? Oh, don't be like a bichari or a bichara, because that's not going to help us succeed. Some of you may be laughing and thinking to yourself, why? Inside you're probably going, why? Or you don't know why. Why is because it's the reason we need to find out. We need to work with our parents. We need to work with our teachers, our counselors. We need to work with people like them here. We need to work with the police and understand. If you can't trust someone, understand why you cannot trust them. If somebody is deceiving you, understand that. Come to the police. There are so many police stations open. Call 911. If you can't do that and you say you might get into a problem, maybe just SOS. SOS. Send SOS. Send an emergency message. If you see a police officer, maybe just act a bit nervous or maybe act like you're not in the place and they will come up to you. They have in the past. I know when I'm nervous, I act nervous on purpose sometimes, and my mom instantly knows why I'm nervous. She'll come up to me, even if it's not maybe the right time, if I can't indicate it, they will know what to do. Let's just say you're in a situation where you don't know what to do, but you know that there are people around you, even if they're hidden or undercover, and you know them that they're police or a teacher or whatever they may be, that you know that they're here to help you. How can you go to them? Okay, maybe just if you know the Morse code. I'm not expecting all of us to know the Morse code or any of those codes out there, or even any sort of languages. We may know English, we may know Punjabi, Hindi, jo bhi hega. We might know whatever language, whatever it may be, but you need to figure out a system, the way there is a system, the way we can talk with the police, the way we can talk to our parents, teachers. Miss Ohana strongly believes that whoever you are, you should know what you're doing. Have a positive mindset. If you're in a situation, know how to get out of it. If you don't know, seek help. Seek help. The way to do that is you can go online, get help if you need it, talk to someone, talk to your friends, tell them, hey, this is what's going on, I need help. Maybe your friends can help you. Maybe they can reach out to the police, whoever it may be the right resource. People like Gary Thind out there, they will be able to help you. Get help, guys. If you need it, get help. जिन्हों को भी सारी help चाहिए, मदद चाहिए हैगी, please, कुछ करो उसके वास्ते. तुसी अगर अपना वॉइस ओपिनियन नहीं करोगे कैसे चलेगा? मैंने देखा है, मैंने ये सब नोटिस किया है. मैं यहाँ पे आई थी जब मैं grade 1 में थी. I was only in grade 1 when I came to Canada. I was being criticized, discrimination, everything. People were racist to me. People used to be like, अरे देखो लड़की आ गई, कुड़ी आ गई. अरे इसको कुड़ीज है, she has कुड़ीज. She has this, she has that. Don't touch her or you'll get sick or you'll die, whatever. People used to say that to me. I used to tell my teachers, hey, this is happening to me. Sometimes they didn't understand or they didn't want to understand. But they at least tried helping me out wherever they could. I tried, I remember once where I was in this situation at home, I called 911 up. I didn't know what to do. I just called them randomly. I'm like, I love 911 so much. I was a kid. I was probably like, 8 years old? And I remember calling them up. The nice guy, the nice police officer comes over to our house, knocks on the door and said, you guys call 911? And we're like, yes. It was a mistake, officer. He explained to us why we should call 911 and not just like that. 911 is not calling for just like that. It's about what we need help, if you need an ambulance or anything. If a situation comes up and you need to call 911, maybe act like, I'm just gonna call my friend, or like if there's someone at your house, let's say they have a gun point to you, and they're like they want money or something or whatever it may be like, okay, I'm gonna call my mom, or I'm gonna call my friend or my boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it may be. Instead, call 911. Act with them. Play with them. Just be like, Jazz, I need help. Like, I need money. Can you lend me money? Can you give me just, when you interact with the police like that, they understand. Even if whoever it may be, the other officer on the line, they'll know how to act. Just act a bit nervous. And they'll know right away. They pick it up really well. And trust me, not just them, teachers as well, counselors, parents, everyone can understand when you're nervous. But act in a way that you're not acting so nervous that the other person who has a gun at your head understands what you're trying to do. So that's what I'm all here to say. And people like us, the youth, we are the next generation. We have a voice. We have an empowerment. Parents, please help us. If you want to know how we can help you or how you can help us, come to us, ask us. That's all I want to say. And Sanya Dhingra, thank you so much. Dhanyawad.
Okay, thank you to the youth who came up here. That takes a lot of encouragement, so good job. Next, we would like to call Sarjeet Chima to the mic.
Thank you so much. Sweet welcome to everybody, parents, students, and Sukhi Baji, WhatsApp. मैं सब तो पहला ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦਾ। ਨਿੱਕੀ ਜੀਆਂ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਸੱਭਿਆਚਾਰ, ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਿਤ ਸਾਥ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੀਆਂ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਪਰਸਨੈਲਿਟੀਜ਼, ਸਭ ਦਾ ਵੈਲਕਮ। RCMP ਆਫੀਸਰਸ, खोसा साहब। और मकसद, मैं कोई बेसिकली बुलारा नहीं है, मैं कोई समाज सेवक नहीं है, सोशल वर्कर नहीं है, पर मैं जदों सिंगिंग दे विच आया कोई 25 ईयर्स पहला, 25 साल पहला, मैं जिन्ने गीत गाए ने, मेरे गीतां दे विच सोशलिज्म हैगा। मैं बहुत सारे गीत वो गाए ने। मैं ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅੱਜ ਮਕਸਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ, ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ ਕੋਈ 5-7 ਮਿੰਟ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ। ਮੈਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਅਨਾੜੀ ਸੀ, ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਗੀਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਇਆ 89 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਆਇਆ, ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਿੰਗਿੰਗ ਸਿੱਖਣੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਔਰ 93 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਐਲਬਮ ਰਿਕਾਰਡ ਕਰਵਾਈ, ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਦੁਨੀਆਦਾਰੀ ਬਾਰੇ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਪਰ ਇੱਕ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਚਪਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਭਾਈਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ ਕਿ ਝੂਠ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਕਦੀ ਔਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਢਣੀ, ਸੱਚ ਤੇ ਪਹਿਰਾ ਦੇਣਾ, ਉਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਿੱਖੀਆਂ। ਪਿੰਡ ਦੇ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂ ਲਾਇਲਪੁਰ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਕਾਲਜ ਜਲੰਧਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ MA ਕੀਤੀ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ। ਔਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਧਰੋਂ ਉੱਧਰੋਂ यारां दोस्तों तो पता लग्या कि पंजाबी दी मैं MA ज्वाइन करा, डबल MA। तो मेरी तमन्ना बनी अंदर खाते कि मैं पंजाबी का टीचर बनना। ਮੇਰੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਮੇਰੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਅਨਪੜ੍ਹ, ਮੇਰੀ ਮਦਰ 5 ਕਲਾਸਾਂ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ। ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਸ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਲਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ। ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਧਰੋਂ ਉੱਧਰੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ, ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੀਆਂ ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਬੇਟੀਆਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਨੇ, ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪਰਵਰਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ, ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਏਜ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਵੀ ਲਰਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਕਿ ਸਮਾਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਗਲਤ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਵਾਪਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ, ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਹੀ ਨੇ। ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਦੇ। ਖੋਸਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛਾ ਬੋਲਿਆ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਬੱਚੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਮੇਰੇ ਬੇਟੇ ਨੇ, ਸਾਡੇ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਿਆਰਾ, ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਬੋਲਿਆ। ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਰਿਸਪੈਕਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਬੱਚਿਓ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਏਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁਣ ਵਾਰੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹੈ। ਉਹਦੀ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਖੜਾ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਐਲਬਮ ਆਈ, ਮੇਰੀ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਆਹ ਗੀਤ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਗਾਉਣੇ ਪੈਣੇ ਆ। ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਐਲਬਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 2 ਗੀਤ ਗਾਏ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਰੜਕਦੇ ਆ। ਇਹ ਗੀਤ ਸੀ ਪਰਾਂਦਾ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਮੌਜ ਲੁੱਟਦਾ। ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਗਾਣਾ ਚੰਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ, ਪਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੱਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਸੀ। ਪਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਰੱਬ ਜਾਣਦਾ, ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਗਾਣਾ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਸਟੇਜ ਤੇ ਪਰਫਾਰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਮੇਰੀ ਜ਼ਮੀਰ ਨੇ ਅਲਾਉ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸੈਕੰਡ ਗੀਤ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਵੀਰਾਂ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗਾਂ ਨੇ, ਕਾਲੀ ਘੱਗਰੀ ਨੀ ਤੇਰੀ ਕਾਲੀ ਘੱਗਰੀ, ਸੱਟ ਸਾਡੇ ਸੀਨੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਰੀ ਸਜਰੀ। ਔਰ ਉਹ ਗੀਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਵਲਗੈਰਿਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਗੀਤ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚੰਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ। ਮੈਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਕਦੀ ਸਟੇਜ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾਇਆ। ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਟੇਜ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਗੀਤ ਗਾਏ ਆ, ਰੰਗਲਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ, ਨਾ ਮਾਰੀ ਨੀ ਮਾਂ, ਪੈਸਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਨਚਾਈ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੱਚੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ, 2.5 ਦਿਨ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗਾਨੀ ਮੇਲਾ 2 ਘੜੀਆਂ। ਔਰ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਗਾਣੇ ਮੈਂ ਮੈਕਸੀਮਮ ਸਟੇਜ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਗਾਏ ਆ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਗੀਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਅਵੋਇਡ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ ਜ਼ਮੀਰ ਅਲਾਉ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੀ। ਔਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਹਿੱਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਮੈਂ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਹਰ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੇਰੀ ਲੜਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਹ ਗੀਤ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾਉਣਾ। ਔਰ ਹਰ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਪ੍ਰਮੋਟ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਗੀਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੀਤ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਆ। ਖੋਸਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਸੀ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਮੂਸੇਵਾਲਾ। ਮੈਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਬੁਰਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ, ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਗੀਤ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਗੀਤਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ, ਮੈਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਅੱਜ ਦੱਸਣੀ ਚਾਹੂੰਗਾ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੀਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ, ਗੈਂਗਸਟਰ ਜੋ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਕਾਰਾਂ, ਐਡੀਆਂ ਐਡੀਆਂ ਮੁੰਦੀਆਂ, ਰਾਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਲੀਆਂ ਐਨਕਾਂ, ਐਡੇ ਐਡੇ ਬੂਟ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਿੰਗਰ ਕਾਰਾਂ 'ਚੋਂ ਉਤਰਦੇ ਆ, ਇਹ ਸਭ ਬੱਚਿਓ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਰਿਐਲਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾ। ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਉਹ ਸਰਬਜੀਤ ਚੀਮਾ ਦਾ ਗੀਤ ਹੈ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਉਹ ਕਿਸੇ ਜੋ ਗੈਂਗਸਟਰ ਨੂੰ ਵਧਾਵਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਪ੍ਰਮੋਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਗੀਤ ਹੈ। ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਗੀਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਗੀਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਅਸਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਨਾ ਲਿਆ ਕਰੋ। ਇਹ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ, ਇਹ ਪਾਣੀ ਤੇ ਲੀਕਾਂ ਨੇ। ਮੇਰੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਹੈ। ਔਰ ਇੱਕ ਨਿੱਕੀ ਜੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਕਿ ਭਲੇ ਉਹ ਸਰਬਜੀਤ ਚੀਮਾ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਗਾਇਕ ਹੈ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਗੀਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਤਰਾਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਖੋਸਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਛੇੜੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਨੇ, ਮੋਦੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬੈਠੇ ਨੇ, ਜਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ ਸਿੰਘ ਬਾਦਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ 20-25 ਸਾਲ ਰਾਜ ਕੀਤਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੇ, ਜਾਂ ਕੈਪਟਨ ਨੇ ਕੀਤਾ। ਮੈਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਲੇਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸੈਂਸਰ ਬੋਰਡ ਬਣਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਇਹ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਬਾਦਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਕੈਪਟਨ ਨੇ ਆਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਸਿੱਧੂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਉੱਥੇ ਆਹ ਬੋਲਤਾ। ਆਪਣੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸਭ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਬਣਦੀ ਹੈ। ਖੋਸਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਗੱਲ ਛੇੜੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਸੈਂਕੜੇ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਅਟੈਂਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਵੈਡਿੰਗਸ ਅਟੈਂਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਹਰ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਗੀਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਤਰਾਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਗੀਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਿੰਦਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉਹੀ ਗੀਤ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਸਭ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਗੀਤ 10-10 ਵਾਰ ਰਿਪੀਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਅਸੀਂ ਟਾਈਆਂ ਲਾ ਕੇ, ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਨਾ ਕਰਿਓ, ਅਸੀਂ 1.5 ਘੰਟਾ ਰੈਡੀ ਹੋਣ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਔਰ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਵੱਲ ਦੇਖੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ, ਪੈਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਇਹਨੇ ਸੈਂਡਲ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਪਾਏ ਆ, ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਡਰੈਸਅਪ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਆ ਜਾਓ। ਜੇ ਪਹਿਰਾ ਦੇਣਾ, ਉੱਥੇ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਕੁਛ ਨਾ ਕੁਛ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਣਾ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਰਿਸੈਪਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਗਾਣੇ 15-15 ਵਾਰ ਵੱਜਦੇ, ਇੱਕ ਲਿਸਟ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਦੇ ਦਿਓ ਡੀਜੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਬ੍ਰਦਰ ਆਹ ਗਾਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਇਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਫੰਕਸ਼ਨ ਆ, ਇਹ ਗਾਣੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਫੰਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਚਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ। ਔਰ ਨਿੱਕੀ ਜੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵੈਡਿੰਗ ਸੁਣੀਆਂ, ਮੈਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ, WhatsApp ਬਹੁਤ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ, ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਰੜਕਦੀ ਆ, ਆ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਕਸੂਰ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ। ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਬੇਟੀ ਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੇਟੇ ਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਆ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਆ ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ ਬੇਟੀ ਨੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਸੀ, ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਕਿੱਧਰ ਗਏ ਉਹ ਬਾਹਰ ਐਂਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਨਮਸਕਾਰ, ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਉਹ ਬੋਲਿਆ, ਔਰ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਚੰਗਾ ਲੱਗਾ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੋ ਸ਼ਬਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਚਿਹਰਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਸਮਾਈਲ ਆਈ। ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਬੱਚੇ ਗਲਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਇਹ ਬੱਚੇ ਠੀਕ ਨੇ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ, ਇਹ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਮਾਂਡ ਨਹੀਂ, ਇਹ ਚੱਕਦੇ ਨੇ, ਝਿਜਕਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੋਲਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਦੂਜੇ ਹੱਸਣਗੇ। ਬੱਚਿਓ, ਮੇਰੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਿੱਕੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਗ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਆਏ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਆਏ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਘਾਲਣਾ ਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਸ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੰਮੇ ਹੋ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਜਨਮ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੋਇਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਲੰਮਾ ਪੈਂਡਾ, ਬਹੁਤ ਲੰਬਾ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਹੈ, ਬਹੁਤ ਲੰਬਾ ਸੰਘਰਸ਼ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਰਤ ਲਿਆ। ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੈਡਿੰਗ ਸੁਣੀਆਂ, ਇੱਕ ਬੱਚਾ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ ਕਰੋ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ, ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਵਿਸਤਾਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਰ ਸਕੇ। ਮੈਂ ਦਾਅਵੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਉੱਥੇ 500 ਬੰਦਾ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੇ 100-150 ਬੱਚਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਦਾ ਬੋਰਨ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਜਾਣਦਾ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਸਮਝਦਾ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ 5% ਸਮਝਦੇ ਆ, ਬਾਕੀ ਉਹ ਤਾੜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤਾੜੀ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਘਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਫੰਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਬੋਲਿਆ। ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਿੱਕੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲੋ ਨਾ। ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਲੰਬਾ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁੱਖੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਲੈਣਾ। ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਗੀਤ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਤਵੱਜੋ ਦਿਓ ਜੀ ਪਿੱਛੋਂ, ਮਾੜ ਜਾ, ਮੈਂ 5-10 ਮਿੰਟ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਕੰਮ ਆ ਜੀ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਰੜਕਦੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਗੀਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਪੈਸੇ ਦੀ ਦੌੜ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ, ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਮਲ ਹੋਵਾਂ, ਪਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਗਾਣਾ ਗਾਇਆ ਸੀ, ਪੈਸਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਨਚਾਈ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੱਚੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਨਵਾਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ 89 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਇਆ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਿ ਰਿਵਾਜ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਧੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਪੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ, ਜਨਮ ਲੈਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੱਢ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਉਹਦਾ ਰੁਝਾਨ, ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੇ ਅਸਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਗਾਣਾ ਗਾਇਆ ਸੀ, ਨਾ ਮਾਰੀ ਨੀ ਮਾਂ ਤੂੰ ਇਹ ਨਾ ਕਹਿਰ ਗੁਜ਼ਾਰੀ ਨੀ ਮਾਂ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਰੜਕਦੀ ਆ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਕਸੂਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਵਿਚਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ, ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਈ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਨੇ, ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਸੁਸਾਇਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਇਲ, ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਵੱਡਾ, ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਟ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੰਦੇ ਖੜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ। ਸਾਰੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਆ, ਸਮਝਦੇ ਆ, ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਨੀਵੇਂ ਨਾ ਦਿਖ ਜਾਈਏ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਰੜਕਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ। ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਮੈਂ WhatsApp ਇੱਕ ਗਾਣਾ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਰੈਡੀ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕਾ, ਉਹਦਾ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਵੀ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 2 ਕੁ ਹਫ਼ਤਿਆਂ ਤੱਕ ਉਸ ਗਾਣੇ ਨੂੰ YouTube ਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਚੈਨਲਾਂ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਵੇਖੋ, ਸੁਣੋਗੇ। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਗਾਣਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗਾ ਜੀ। 3 ਮਿੰਟ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੋਰ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ। ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲੀ, ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਜ਼ਬਾਨ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਜੀ ਗਾਣਾ, ਮੇਰਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਹੀ ਗਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ, ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਖੋਸਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਜੀ। ਮੇਰੀ ਬੋਲੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਪਿਆਰੀ ਆ, ਮੇਰੀ ਬੋਲੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਪਿਆਰੀ ਆ। ਇਹ ਟਿੱਪੀਆਂ ਕੰਨਿਆਂ ਬਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰੀ ਆ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਾਰਿਸ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਬੋਲੀ ਦੇ, ਵਾਰਿਸ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਬੋਲੀ ਦੇ, ਹਰ ਜਨਮੇ ਦੇ ਤੋਂ ਵਾਰ ਦਿਓ ਜੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ, ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ, ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਂ ਵਰਗਾ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਦਿਓ ਜੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਨੂੰ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਂ ਵਰਗਾ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਦਿਓ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲ ਕੇ ਭਲਿਓ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਓਗੇ ਫੋਕੀਆਂ ਟੋਰਾਂ ਸ਼ੋਹਰਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਏ ਕੱਖਾਂ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਰੁੱਲ ਜਾਓਗੇ ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਵੀ ਬਣਿਆ ਊੜੇ ਤੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਵੀ ਬਣਿਆ ਊੜੇ ਤੋਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਦਿਲ ਚੋਂ ਨਾ ਵਿਸਾਰ ਦਿਓ ਜੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਂ ਵਰਗਾ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਦਿਓ ਇਹ ਹਾਕਮਾਂ ਪਹਿਰੇਦਾਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਹਏ ਗੁੰਗੀ ਬੋਲੀ ਕਰਤੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਹਾਕਮਾਂ ਪਹਿਰੇਦਾਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਗੁੰਗੀ ਬੋਲੀ ਕਰਤੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਖੁੰਦੀ ਅਸਾਂ ਤੁਸਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਲੰਗੜੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਧਰਤੀ ਆ ਕੁਝ ਅਕਲ ਕਰੋ ਕੁਝ ਤਰਸ ਕਰੋ ਕੁਝ ਅਕਲ ਕਰੋ ਕੁਝ ਤਰਸ ਕਰੋ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਜੜ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਮਾਰ ਦਿਓ ਜੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਂ ਵਰਗਾ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਦਿਓ ਹਾਏ ਬਸਦੀ ਰਹੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲੀ ਇਹ ਚੀਮਾ ਮੰਗੇ ਦੁਆਵਾਂ ਜੀ ਕਰੇ ਤਰੱਕੀਆਂ ਦਿਨ ਰਾਤੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਣ ਦਾ ਤਤੀਆਂ ਵਾਵਾਂ ਜੀ ਲਈਆਂ ਲੋਰੀਆਂ ਲਾਡ ਲਡਾਇਆਂ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੀਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਲਈਆਂ ਲੋਰੀਆਂ ਲਾਡ ਲਡਾਇਆਂ ਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਂ ਜਾਇਓ ਮੁੱਲ ਤਾਰ ਦਿਓ ਜੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਬੋਲੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਂ ਵਰਗਾ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਦਿਓ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਿਓ ਵਰਗਾ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਦਿਓ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰੱਬ ਵਰਗਾ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਦਿਓ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਂ ਵਰਗਾ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਦਿਓ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਿਹਰਬਾਨੀ
Thank you, Mr. Chima. Up next, we have Jordan Buna presenting on having to be a man.
Hello. All good. Okay. So I really don't like podiums, so I'm just going to stay down here. Sat Sri Akal, Sarianu, Gianu, Mira Nam Hey Jordan. Yes, very good. Yes. That's all. Unfortunately, that's all the Punjabi I know. That's all the Punjabi I have for you guys today. But I want to thank you guys for putting this event on. I want to thank you guys for welcoming me here. So my name is Jordan Buna. I work for the Surrey Wraparound Program. I know Jag had mentioned earlier what the wraparound program is, but we work with some of the most vulnerable kids in Surrey. We work with kids who are not making some of the best decisions. And through my work with some of these young men and relating a lot of what's happening in their lives to some of the things that happen in my life, I've started to realize and think about how difficult it can be to be a young boy, right? And a lot of the pressures that some of these kids are facing are to do with the fact that society expects men, society expects boys to act in a certain way. But what I like to do before I present on any topic is I like to keep myself focused when I'm making a presentation. I like to look at a definition. I like to have a working definition. When I looked up manhood, this is what I found in the dictionary. I find it to be quite incomplete, but I think it's very difficult to define what happens and what you need to do to be a man. So here we have the definition of manhood. The condition of being a human being, so that's one. I would think that you would have to be a human being in order to be considered a man. Two, the qualities associated with men and manliness. Now, I feel like that's a really tough thing to define because we expect a lot of our young boys and we expect a lot of our young men. And some of those things that, some of those expectations that we put on young kids and young boys a lot of them are through the movies we watch, the TV, the media that we take in. So I actually had a clip. I'm not going to show the clip because it doesn't have sound, and it won't make sense without sound. But I was thinking about the way that manliness is portrayed, and so I have a clip from the movie 300. And in this movie, it's about, you know, being very masculine. It's about defending your children. It's about, you know, being tough, right? So a lot of that stuff that we place upon men, that they always have to be tough, that they're not allowed to show emotion, that they always have to be like a rock, right? So what are some of the things that you guys, particularly the students up front, what are some pressures that you guys think that boys face? Anybody? Yeah? Sorry?
They have to be athletic.
They have to be athletic, yes. So sports is a big one. Anybody else? Yeah?
They have to be like prepared to be like the man of the house.
Yes, so sports, there's a lot of pressure surrounding sports, and what she just said, they have to be pressured to be kind of the man of the house, the head of the house. There's a lot of pressure that comes with stuff like that. But any man is going to start out as this, right? As a little boy. At some point, you're always a little boy. And when you're a little boy, life is easy. There's not a lot of expectations placed upon you, right? You just get to be a kid. But I'll never forget the very first time that I heard somebody tell me to man up. Right? And we all know what man up means, right? Be a man up. Why are you crying? Why are you this? Just be a man about it, right? And so we place a lot of expectations on this phrase, be a man. And like I said, I'll never forget the very first time I heard this phrase. So when I was growing up, I was about 10 years old at the time. When I was growing up, my family and I had a summer cabin. And we would go to this summer cabin every summer, and it was on a lake. So we would go out on the lake, and friends of my dad had a boat. So it would be my dad's two friends and myself and his two sons. And I remember they used to want us to take us water skiing all the time, right? So water skiing, you go in the water and you get pulled behind the boat on these water skis. It's supposed to be a really fun activity, and it actually is really fun. But I'll never forget the very first time that I went water skiing, because when I was about 10, I was a kid, and I had a fear, whether it was irrational or not, I had a fear of seaweed. I really didn't like being in water that had seaweed underneath it. Especially, you know, I couldn't jump into water where there was seaweed. I was fine if I couldn't see the bottom. I was fine in a pool, but I just, for whatever reason, was really, really scared to jump in that water with seaweed in it. And I remember when we went out on the boat this first day of summer, when we first got that boat, and sure enough, I was very nervous about getting in that water. And sure enough, my first friend went, didn't have any problems. Second friend jumped in the water and went, didn't have any problems. And finally it came to my turn to jump into that water. And I remember just being frozen with fear. I was 10 years old, right? And I was scared, and I didn't want to jump in that water. And I remember I started kind of having almost like a panic attack. I started crying. It was really upset. I just really did not want to get in that water. And I remember listening to some of the things that my dad's friends were telling me. What's wrong with you? Why can't you just jump in the water? It's just seaweed. Why don't you man up? What's wrong with you? And it got so bad that we were only about 10 feet off the beach, but grown men on the beach started making fun of the fact that I wouldn't jump in that water. And I remember I was just absolutely terrified. And I just kept remember hearing them say, man up. Why can't you just man up? Why can't you just get in the water? And so I didn't get in the water that day, and I paid the price, because I remember looking at the look on my dad's face, and my dad never said anything. But I could tell by the look on his face that he was embarrassed, right? I could tell by the look on his face that he was embarrassed that I couldn't just man up, that I couldn't just get in the water. And so I thought about that day for a whole year, right? A whole year goes by, and then it's the next summer, and that family comes back up, and we have the boat again. And I remember the 2 nights before we were supposed to go water skiing, I couldn't even sleep because I was so nervous. And it wasn't even that I was still nervous of the seaweed necessarily or getting in the water. I was so scared that I wouldn't be able to do it because I didn't want to disappoint my dad. And you can bet that next summer, I got in that water. And I didn't want to. And when you see that picture, you think, man, that's awesome. Like, it's a kid having fun, a kid water skiing. I was absolutely terrified in that picture, right? So you kind of start to realize that some of these pressures are things that, you know, we put on our kids. It's not going to help them turn out in a positive way. The next time that I remember I started to feel a lot of pressure around being a man and around, you know, having expectations put on me was in the sporting arena. So I played hockey. I'm from Surrey. I grew up in Surrey, played Surrey minor hockey pretty much my entire life. And when I first started playing hockey, hockey was fun, right? When I was in Pee Wee and Adam, right, there was no body checking. There was no winning. Really, nobody cared about winning or losing, right? But as hockey went on, I got pretty good. And that year we managed to win the championship for the league in our Pee Wee division. But then the next year came. And it was and I was playing bantam, so I was about 13 at the time. And I got pretty good, so I actually tried out and managed to get onto the A1 rep team. So I was playing Surrey rep hockey. And the difference between rep hockey and house hockey was very, very different, right? So it goes from being fun to all of a sudden now I have to get up probably about 3-4 mornings a week really, really early, right? You know, it got to be really competitive, and it was more about winning, and it took a lot of the fun out of sports for me because my dad pushed me really hard to be the best. And because I was a defenseman, I was expected to be able to hit people, I was expected to be able to fight, I was expected to be able to, you know, to go out and be an enforcer, right? And throughout my kind of hockey career in high school, the aggression that I showed on the ice and the violence that I showed on the ice started to trickle off the ice. And it started to, you know, I started to get into a lot of fights at school. And fighting and aggression kind of became my currency. It became my way to solve problems. A lot of the coping skills that normal kids have or develop, I wasn't developing because something would happen and my first response would be I wanted to punch it out or I wanted to beat it up, right? And so, and just because I'm playing sports, just like Jag Kosa said, just because, you know, a basketball game is not going to fix this. Right? I played sports my entire life going up through high school and started getting into trouble by grade 8. By grade 10, my friends and I had gotten so bad that we were out at a fight and one of them died because, you know, he was run over by a car due to a fight that we were having behind Ellie Matheson, right? But nobody realized how bad my behavior was kind of getting. Nobody realized the fact that I was using marijuana every day. Because I didn't want to feel stuff, right? Nobody realized that, and nobody really cared that much due to the fact that I was still playing sports. It was really easy for me to fly under the radar. I was still doing those things that we expect of our boys, right? I was being tough. I was doing well at sports, so a lot of people didn't really think that there was a problem. And, you know, my high school years were not the best. I ended up actually graduating, and once again, I found myself, after I graduated high school, I found myself at a place where, you know, I'm expected now to go out and get a job. I'm expected to be able to provide for a family, right? And I didn't have a lot of those tools, and I felt a lot of pressure surrounding having to do that. So, and as a young man, I didn't value the proper things, right? I didn't look within. My values and everything came from external. It became being materialistic, right? Who has the most things? Who has, you know, the prettiest girl on their arm? Who has the nicest car? Who has the most money? That's the stuff that I bought into, and that's the stuff that I thought made you a man. So after high school, you know, through meeting a bunch of different people, I actually found myself in the drug trade. So I entered the drug trade as a way to make some money, as a way to kind of be a man. And because I learned all those skills and because I didn't have a problem with violence, I was pretty good at the drug trade. But these are the stuff that I was valuing all the time, right? So things like gang involvement, binge drinking. This is the stuff, this is the outcomes of some of these pressures that we talk about, that we put on our boys. You know, be a man, never back down. And, you know, I was really suited to the stuff that I was doing at the time. But little did I realize that all this be a man, all this being tough was actually ruining my life, because by the time I was 23 years old, I was sentenced to a year in prison for gun possession, right? And it was in prison that I saw the consequences of, you know, hyper-masculinity. I saw the consequences of having to be tough all the time. There was lots of people that I was in jail with that were in jail because they did violent things because they didn't have any coping skills to fall back on. And it was in jail that I started to realize that, you know, the cracks started to show in this concept of manhood, right? I started to see people that were, you know, in prison because they were acting in a certain way, they were acting in a violent way all the time. And when I kind of started to realize that, you know, nobody is as tough as they seem, was at night in jail when I would sit and you could hear people throughout the jail crying, right? But nobody ever talked about it because you weren't allowed to show emotion, because you weren't allowed to show feelings, right? And, you know, after a number of years of really negative stuff, I was able to thankfully change my life. I was able to return to university. Just this past year, I got my bachelor's degree in criminology and psychology, right? And it's just because, thank you. But it's because I finally started to look within. I finally started to realize that all these expectations that I felt that everybody had put on me were not things that I even needed to live up to, right? At the end of the day, you're alone with your life. And it doesn't matter who you need to, you know, you think you need to impress people, you think you need to act a certain way. Our young men feel like they have to be violent, that they have to be tough, that those are signs of strength. To be truthful, those are signs of weakness. Those are signs of, hey, I don't have any other way to deal with you, and I'm all out of ideas, so I'm just going to hit you instead, right? So this is the kind of stuff that we need to change. And it's going to start with us not putting as many expectations on our young men as we do now. And what I want to leave you guys with is I have, you know, through the research I did for this presentation, I've kind of come up with 5 tenets, and this is through my experience as well, on how to be a good person and how to put good things out into the world. Because if we keep going the way we are, we're going to continue to lose generations of young men. Young men in this country commit suicide at a rate that is 4 times greater than their female counterparts. And that needs to be discussed, and that needs to be dissected. So the 5 tenets to be a good person. The first one, take responsibility. It sounds really simple, but I've worked with so many young men, and I was one of them myself, who never took responsibility. Who's, you know, blamed the bad things, the outcomes of their bad choices on everybody else in their life. There's a quote I've put up for each of these, and I love this quote. The man who complains about the way the ball bounces is likely to be the one that dropped it. Right? So these are the people that are always going to be making excuses. And if you're always making excuses for your bad behavior, and you're always saying that, oh, it's from some external force, right, blaming other people, you're never going to learn from your mistakes, because you're never going to be able to acknowledge that you've ever made a mistake. Right? And learning from your mistakes, that's where you're going to see true growth happen. And that's where you're going to see someone's life be able to be transformed. Second thing, treat everybody with kindness. Right? What does it cost you to be polite? What does it cost you to hold a door for somebody? What does it cost you to let somebody in traffic, right? What does it cost you to be nice to people? Kindness is free. It's the easiest thing that you can do, and it is something that people remember. People will not remember what you said. A lot of you won't remember what I said here today. People will remember how you made them feel. So put good stuff out into that world. This quote here by Gandhi, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is an attribute of the strong. Respect is earned. When I was making this presentation, I was struggling making respect and kindness 2 different things, because it seemed to me like they were kind of the same. But the more I thought about it, you know, you don't have to respect everybody. You don't have to respect people that are acting negatively towards you. But just because you don't respect someone, or just because they're not doing the things that you value or the things that are even good for them, it doesn't mean that you can't still be kind to them. Right? Kindness comes from your heart. Respect is earned. And if you want respect in life, you want to get respect, you have to give respect. That's the very first thing that you need to know about respect. Another thing is be adaptable. Right? Uncertainty is the only certainty there is, and knowing how to live with insecurity is the only security. I can't count the number of people that I know that situations change, and instead of changing with it, instead of modifying their behavior or coming up with a new solution or you know, fighting change, right? You can fight change all you want, but it's going to happen with or without you, right? And if you don't adapt to the things that are changing, that's not going to allow us to solve any of these problems. And the last one, living with integrity. What does integrity mean to you guys? To me, integrity is having a set of core values that you need to follow on a daily basis. It's being true to yourself, it's being true to your family, and it's realizing that you don't need to put on an act all the time. Right? And when you see somebody being true to themselves, say something about it. Encourage that kind of behavior. Because if we continue down the path that we are going, if we keep putting these unreal expectations on our young people, they are going to succumb to the same pressures that I succumb to, and they are going to have negative results in their life due to the fact that they're going to make choices based on stuff that they don't even need to worry about. They're going to make choices based on, some of the judgments that they feel their parents are going to put on them, or some of the judgments they feel that the people in their lives are going to put on them. Okay? So I want to thank you guys for having me here today. Thank you guys very much.
So another thank you to Jordan Vuna for his presentation. Up next, we will have Maya Bogle. She's just setting it up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, can we please welcome Maya?
Thank you. My name is Maya Bogle, and I'm here to talk about choosing your own path. I think for youth, the age-old question always becomes, and this is a pressure from so many adults in our lives, I was asked this question numerous times in my life, what do you want to be when you grow up? Who knows what I'm talking about when you have this pressure of all these people telling you all the time, what do you want to be when you grow up? Yeah. What does it make you feel like? Yeah. Yeah, it's this pressure on your shoulders, right? So what do you do with it? Yeah. Do you feel like sometimes you have to fit yourself into this box?
Yeah.
Right? What are some of the pressures?
It's like if you do the wrong thing or you be the wrong person and like
You're just gonna get yelled at on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
being the wrong person.
Doing the wrong thing, becoming the wrong person?
Sorry.
Yeah? What else?
Like sometimes your parents want you to be something, but then you want to be something different, and it's like the pressure that they're giving you.
Yes, your parents want you to be something, but you don't know if that's what you want. Totally.
And then they also got this double standard, like she was saying.
Yeah.
Like, be whatever you want to be. And then you say something, even if you like even if you want to do that a lot, they'll be like, nah, go somewhere else.
Yes, this double standard of do whatever you want, do what makes you happy, but at the same time, this other pressure coming from the back saying, oh, I don't know about that, right? So what do you guys do? Do you fit yourself into the box, or do you come outside of it?
You just fit yourself in.
What do you mean
You
by
fit yourself in it?
What do you mean by that?
So do you do what your parents tell you to do, or do you do something that makes you happy on the outside of that box? It's a hard one. It's such a toss-up, isn't it? Yeah. So me as a kid versus me now, I consider myself two different people. I was always taught as a kid, go to school, go to university, get an education, do something with it. Big house, fancy car, tons of money, right? Sounds awesome on the outside, doesn't it? But does that actually bring happiness? Not always, right? Fine, so I went through school, I was okay academically, I played basketball, I was doing everything that I was supposed to do, right? Okay, I'm a good kid, so what? I don't know what just happened. Graduated university, got a BA, pretty average. Yeah, I look super happy, right? And the second that I walked out of that stage for my university graduation, it was, well, what's next? What are you gonna do now? So what? You have a degree, right? I didn't even know what was next. I was still bathing in the glory of, I got through university, and I'm happy right now. But I always felt this pressure to keep going and keep pushing because big house, fancy car, right? Yeah. So after years and years of trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, I had no clue. I no longer knew who I was. I had forces from the outside telling me I should be a lawyer. So that's what I started going to university for, thinking, I'm going to be a lawyer. Got halfway through my degree and decided I absolutely cannot stand this. I'm not good at it, I don't enjoy it. So then I finished my Bachelor of Arts and just decided it's time for me to take a break because I don't know who I am right now. It was a really tough decision to make, to try to take some time off of school, because I still had this pressure from above me, from my parents and family saying, you better keep going, you better do what you need to do, right? So I started working at a gym because I didn't know what else to do. I was super confused. I needed a part-time job because I knew I needed to make some money. So that's what I did. At the same time, when all of this was happening, of me trying to figure out who I am, I also had some personal stuff going on with my family. I was totally empty inside, completely upset all the time, super unhappy, and had no idea what to do about it. I don't know if I should talk to someone about the pain that I'm feeling inside of me. Do I talk to a counselor? Well, what's that? Like, I don't know if that's right. I'm not sure, right? There's lots of stigmas around counseling and therapy and all of that. And at the time, I was totally conformed to that and fitting myself into this box thinking, oh, I shouldn't do that. So I didn't. So this is where my path started to take a little bit of a detour for a little while. But I realized eventually it was a good thing. So to cope with all of the stress in my life, I started going to the gym. So I'd work 8, 9 hours a day at the gym, and then I would stay at the gym for 3 or 4 hours and work out. Because I realized that was where I could get my head straight. That was where I could find myself and realize that I had some stuff that I needed to deal with and talk about. But I needed the time to talk to myself about it first. So I finally realized that at the end of the day, what I want to be when I grow up is still a lingering question, but who I want to be is Maya. And that's who I am now. And realizing that it's totally okay if you don't know exactly what you want to do when you become an adult. Because even as an adult in her mid-20s, I still don't know exactly what I want to do. But I do have morals and values, and those will always be my guide no matter what, right? I always also have really supportive family members to help me, to help guide me when I feel like I'm falling off the track. So finally I realized that I loved fitness so much to the point that I was gonna pursue it. So I started bodybuilding and decided that that was where I was gonna take my unhappiness and my hurt and channel it into something positive. And yeah, I get that these are very racy photos, right? Yeah, they probably make everyone uncomfortable. You know what? If girls can do it and they can tell their stories and guys can do it, then I think that this is just a start to the things that we have to accomplish in our society, right? So it's okay to go against the grain a little bit. These conversations about doing this sport was a really difficult thing I had to do with my family, especially growing up in an Indian family with grandparents who were like, what is this? Why, what are you doing? Right? But them finally coming to the understanding that this is a sport that is actually well known all over the world, and she's happy. And she found her niche. And yes, I wasn't conformed to that box of forcing myself to play basketball because that was what I was taught to do my whole life and that I was good at it. But instead it was finding the creativity and finding the opportunities in my life to figure out, okay, I can step outside the box. Just because I am a woman, it doesn't change anything for me. So yeah, I faced tons of challenges. I faced getting messages from random family members. What is this photo that you've put up on your social media? This is so inappropriate. What are you doing with your life? You're never gonna make it anywhere, right? This happens all the time, and I'm sure this happens to you guys when you try something different, when you step outside of that box. Some people are never going to agree with what you do, right? And that's okay, because you still have your morals and values to help guide you. The support and positive relationships in your life will help you get through it. I remember along the way when I'm training for competitions, how many friends I've lost because they don't understand why I can't go out. I don't have time to hang out with them because my priorities have changed a little bit. I don't want to be the person who's out hanging out at the mall till 10, 11 o'clock every night. I don't want to be that person. And so along the way, my friendships changed greatly, and I went from having a large circle of 15 or 20 people to 4. That's a hard lesson, right? And I'm sure tons of you guys have lots of huge circles of social friends, but who are those quality friends who are going to be with you there through thick and through thin? Does that make sense when you say that? Yeah? So how do you actually choose your own path? Because it's challenging. It's such a hard thing to do, to go completely against what society tells you to do, isn't it? Are there any challenges that you guys face right now? Things that you might want to do but feel like you can't? Something to consider, right? Yeah. But really, it's okay to try something different. It's okay to not join the basketball team because it's something that you don't find passion in. But where does your passion actually lie? Those are some of the things that you have to ask yourself, right? And making sure that you're making those positive, healthy choices is so important. So even though I didn't have a big group of friends to guide me, I still knew my right from wrong. Being confident in what you're doing is one of the most important things and the biggest piece of advice I could give you. Half the time I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, in an hour, the next day. I don't even know if this was what I wanted to do in my life, to compete on a national stage in bodybuilding. Like, that scares me so much, being up there and having the world judge me. But I had confidence in myself because I knew that I wanted a new experience in my life. Right? Considering your friends and family's opinions is so important. Right? Those are the people that help guide you, but not necessarily taking it and saying, they said no, so I'm not going to do this. Is it easier to have a conversation with your friends and family and say, this is what I'm thinking about doing, what do you think? Right? Being able to have that candid openness with them will help. And even though those are very uncomfortable situations and conversations to be having, I encourage you to do it. I remember when I first told my mom about bodybuilding, and she's like, well, no, that's so strange. I don't understand. Why would you want to do that to yourself? So after numerous conversations about, well, this is what I love doing, and I think you recognize how important this sport is to me and how much happier I am, I hope you can understand that I'm making the right choice. So she was the one who supported me throughout the entire journey. And as much as she was confused by it, I think she's come to an understanding that, okay, I think she's okay, right? And it's totally okay to not know what you want to be when you grow up. It's totally okay. And you'll probably change your mind 5 or 10 times before you even hit my age. In fact, I think I'm probably going to change my mind a few more times before I figure it out. And that's okay. Because at the end of the day, these are the experiences that you need to become a good adult or a good human being, right? What are some of the morals and values that you guys think are important?
Respecting yourself.
Respecting yourself, that's probably the biggest one, and that's where it starts, right? Why is that so important?
Because if you don't respect yourself, how can you expect other people to respect you?
Totally. If you don't respect yourself, how do you expect other people to do it? Absolutely. And sometimes we get to different times in our lives where I don't know if I respect myself right now because I'm going through a really hard time, right? But is it taking a step back and trying to figure out, okay, how can I find that respect for myself again? Who can I talk to that can help me with that? Yeah. What else? Any other morals? Hi.
Have courage in what you want to do.
Have courage in what you want to do. Yeah, what would that look like?
Like, if you want to be something, take a passion in it.
Yeah, take passion in everything you do. I love it. What else?
It's very important to know what one wants to become, what one's passion is in fact.
Yeah.
Many of us change our professions in our life. I started my life with being an engineer. My best friend started with life being a doctor. Later on we realized we are not made for that. We did job for some time, then we started preparing for IAS. My friend became IAS. When I prepared, I gathered so much knowledge, I thought, oh, I could be a best teacher.
Yeah.
He also succeeded and I also succeeded. There are no counselors in our schools who can find out what a child wants to become. Why our counselors or teachers are not able to figure out what a child has the passion and what he or she can become. I think we need to work on that.
And our lives are such a journey, and our passions lie so differently at different times in our life. So like you said, we didn't know what we wanted to be when we were younger, and that changes in the trajectory of our lives, right? So we have to let those morals and values guide us. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Maya, for that presentation. Up next, we have Mike Sanchez and Gary Sidhu from the Surrey RCMP.
Move it over here. here because you're not going to see me. You're only going to see the top of my head if I stand here. Good afternoon. You guys have been sitting a long time, okay? I know everyone is sitting here a long time. So Gary and I, we're going to be, our presentation and our talk to you today is going to be a bit quick. We were given some questions that the youth had drafted up. So this is more of a question and answer period right here. So we've got 5 questions that were chosen, that were asked for us to answer, and we'll be basically addressing you guys here because these questions came from the youth that were involved in this. So just before we get to that, just a little introduction about myself. My name is Mike Sanchez. I'm a sergeant. I'm in charge of the Surrey Gang Enforcement Team.